2022 will probably be best remembered as the year that Queen Elizabeth II died, but over the next few minutes we'll pause to remember some of the other significant figures in music, art and culture who passed away in 2022. I'm Jamie East and this is a special edition of the Smart 7. It's been a strange Christmas period with a number of notable figures dying between Christmas and New Year. Faithless frontman Maxi Jazz and actor and satirist John Bird both passed away on Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve saw US TV news legend Barbara Walters and former Pope Benedict XVI die. And fashion icon and groundbreaking designer known as the godmother of punk Vivienne Westwood died peacefully, surrounded by her family in London on December the 29th. She'd always said she wasn't concerned about being seen as an icon. It was more important to focus on the next generation.
No, I just want to save the world and get a life, you know. I mean, and that is one of my slogans, which is to do with literally let the next generation get a life.
On the same day, football legend Pelé, who'd been in hospital with cancer since late November, also passed away. He was regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time. He was the only player to win 3 World Cups and he holds a Guinness World Record for the number of goals scored. But if his mother had her way, maybe he'd have been a doctor instead.
My father was a soccer player. He used to play very good. And then when I was young, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, I just want to be like my father. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be great player. I just want to be like my father. Then my mother used to say, you must be a doctor, you have to start to be a teacher. I said, okay, I'm going to start, but let me try. Then I went to Santos when I was 14 years old. I tried, and they signed me. Then with 15, I was in the team, with 16 in the national team, with 17 in the World Cup in Sweden. Then my mother accepted, and she said, okay.
For those who passed over Christmas, rest in peace. And now, let's take a look back at those who left us in 2022. While December saw us lose musical legend and cultural icon Terry Hall, back in January, well-known American singers Meat Loaf and Ronnie Spector passed away, and May saw the death of both 80s icon Vangelis and Tom Parker from The Wanted. But in March, we were devastated to hear that one of the best-loved drummers of the American rock scene had passed away. There was really sad news over the weekend as Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins was found dead in his hotel room in Colombia, where the band are as part of their South American tour. He was only 50 years old and a post-mortem suggested he had numerous substances in his system. He'd been a Foo Fighter since 1997, and Dave Grohl often described him as his brother.
We were like in love with each other. First time we had a beer together, we're like, we're going to be best friends for the rest of our lives. We're like this. Yeah.
There've been tributes from all across the world of rock and roll, from Mick Jagger and Ringo Starr to Coldplay and Rage Against the Machine. Queen's Brian May also expressed his sympathies, and Taylor was famous for his version of Queen's Somebody to Love, where he'd take the vocals and Dave Grohl would jump on the drums. Here they are on their final concert in Buenos Aires. Rest in peace, Taylor.
There's one more person you can't forget.
The music industry suffered many losses in 2022, and when news broke about the death of Olivia Newton-John in August, tributes were paid from across the world to the legendary Australian singer and actress best known for her role as Sandy in Grease. Then in December, one of the best-loved female vocalists from an iconic band passed away in hospital in the UK. Christine McVie's family have led tributes to the Fleetwood Mac singer who passed away at the age of 79. Christine joined the band in 1970 and wrote many of their biggest hits, including Little Lies, Songbird and Don't Stop. They sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making them one of the most successful groups ever. In a post on Twitter, Fleetwood Mac called Christine truly one of a kind, special and talented beyond measure. She spoke to BBC Scotland earlier this year and talked about the night she wrote Songbird but had no way to record it, so just stayed up all night. Rest in peace, Christine.
I had a lot of faith in the song. I was afraid that my memory wouldn't hold out. That was pretty terrifying, actually, to have written a song that you love and then know that you could, at any minute, forget it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it does happen.
Some huge names from stage and screen departed in 2022, including Ray Liotta, Kirstie Alley, William Hurt and Anne Hesh, who tragically died in a car accident in California in August. The UK saw the loss of Bernard Cribbins, perhaps most well known for his role in Doctor Who, and a Scottish legend who played our favourite half-giant. There's been an outpouring of love from film and TV stars for BAFTA-winning actor Robbie Coltrane after he died on Friday, aged 72. J.K. Rowling described him as an incredible talent, while Harry himself, Daniel Radcliffe, said he was one of the funniest people I've met. Coltrane appeared in 2 James Bond films and starred in the hit TV crime series Cracker, but was perhaps best known for playing the half-giant Hagrid in Harry Potter. And he reflected on the end of the film franchise in this clip from the Potter reunion. Rest in peace, Robbie.
The legacy of the movies is that my children's generation will show them to their children. So you could be watching it in 50 years' time. Easy. I'll not be here, sadly, but don't you think on it for 1 minute. But Hagrid will. Yes.
Some of 2022's deaths were not particularly surprising, as the 95-year-old June Brown and the 96-year-old Angela Lansbury left us in April and October. But the UK was shocked and saddened during the summer when a woman who started life in education, then became a journalist, podcaster and campaigner on the reality of living with bowel cancer passed away in June at just 40 years old. Cancer campaigner Dame Deborah James, known as Bowel Babe, has died. She spent the last 7 years battling bowel cancer after being diagnosed in 2016. Her extraordinary bravery in making her struggle public and sharing her journey through treatment was recognised by a special damehood presented in person by Prince William just weeks ago. She also created a Bowel Babe charity fund which has already raised over £6 million. She's survived by her husband and 2 children, and she told BBC Breakfast that she's treasured every moment with her family. Rest in peace, Deborah.
I've had 5 years to prepare for my death. I don't feel begrudged. I don't feel angry that I haven't tried anything. I don't feel like we've run out of drugs. But I'm still not kind of quite there yet. You always want to know as a mother, are your kids going to be okay? And my kids are going to be fine.
The world of couture and high fashion saw a sad start to the year with the death of 2 of its most beloved figures. French designer Thierry Mugler died in January at the age of 73, and that month also saw the death of one of the fashion industry's most flamboyant figures, well known for his association with Vogue magazine and the Met Gala. The death was announced on Wednesday of a fashion legend, André Leon Talley, who died at the age of 73. He was a fashion designer and journalist and was creative director of Vogue magazine. Tributes flooded in from stars and designers including Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, Diane von Furstenberg and many more. Vogue editor Anna Wintour described him as magnificent and wickedly funny. Here he is on the Met Gala red carpet, charming Rihanna. Rest in peace, Andre.
I know you're going to be fabulous, but let me just say, walk through the museum and just...
I can't wait.
Drink the moment. Drink it.
Thank you
this
so much.
This is rare life. You are so inspiring
Thank
to so many people. You're going to inspire people in this dress. They're telling me you've got to go. I love you.
It's always hard to say goodbye to icons, but it's harder still when it's obvious they were just getting started. The loss of Jamal Edwards was felt particularly hard in the UK music industry, where he'd worked so hard to amplify the voices and kickstart the careers of new, young and diverse musicians across a variety of genres. The death has been announced of Jamal Edwards MBE. He was a music entrepreneur and YouTube star who created the music channel SBTV. He helped to launch the career of acts like Dave, Ed Sheeran, Skepta and Lady LeSure. He was an ambassador for the Prince's Trust and worked hard to give a platform to new talent. There were tributes from all corners of the UK as London Mayor Sadiq Khan said British music and entertainment had lost one of its brightest stars. Jamal was just 31 and started out as a teenager filming his mates with a video camera his parents gave him for Christmas. He appeared on Loose Women last year with his mum Brenda Edwards to talk about his work and success. Rest in peace, mate.
I feel like, yeah, I've done a lot, but there's a lot more that I can do. And I feel like the people that I was surrounded by, like, they always help me, and it's not always down to me, it's the team that I have as well. So I feel like when I get to certain places, I'm able to, like, knock the doors down and hopefully bring people through. And that's what my main focus is, like, for SB and just in general.
In the last of our tributes to those who died in 2022, we come to the passing of one of the most well-known and beloved women in the UK and across the world. In September, the country stopped for 10 days to mark her passing with a series of elaborate ceremonies and tributes worldwide that celebrated her impact and legacy that will be felt for generations to come.
Normal programmes have been suspended because of the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. A statement issued by Buckingham...
We have some very important news. Buckingham Palace has just announced that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has died.
A few moments ago, Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
So let's take a moment to reflect on that news.
At 12:39 on Thursday, viewers of Bargain Hunt were startled when the screen faded to black on BBC One to be replaced by the serious face of BBC News presenter Joanna Gosling.
We have had news from Buckingham Palace that the Queen is under medical supervision at Balmoral.
The nation paused and an afternoon of anxious scrolling began while the royal family all headed for Balmoral to be by her side. The statement from Her Majesty's doctor said she'd been placed under medical supervision because of concern for her health, but that she was comfortable. In the House of Commons, Nadhim Zahawi was seen entering mid-debate on energy prices and communicating urgently with Prime Minister Liz Truss and then both Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner. Shortly after that, Speaker of the House, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, made an announcement.
I know I speak on behalf of the entire House when I say that we send our best wishes to Her Majesty the Queen and that she and the royal family are in our thoughts and prayers at this moment.
However, at 6:32 p.m, the formal announcement was made that Queen Elizabeth II had died.
The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon.
She was 96 years of age and had ruled since February 1952. She was Britain's longest reigning monarch and the second longest reigning monarch in history. King Charles III immediately ascends to the throne, and he and the Queen Consort Camilla are expected to travel to London on Friday. This has been a special edition of The Smart 7, produced by Daft Doris.